My goodness, it has been an adventure to get some headphones charged. I tell you what. All right, slope formula. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run through the first stuff real quick with little explanation. If you come up with questions like what did I just do there, then please, by all means, shoot me a text and we'll meet up and we'll talk about it. I got a feeling we're going to meet up anyway. So anytime there's not a number in front of the variable, there's going to be a number called a coefficient, and it's always going to be a 1. So we got negative 1 over 1. Positive 3, it's a negative 1. Okay, so that's what that would look like. And we should see a decrease by 1. So we have 0 is 3, that's our y-intercept, and decreasing by 1. I want to see this. That's what I'm always looking for. If that's not there, I'm going, what are you doing? Okay, so it looks like we have a, hold on, there they are, a y-intercept of negative 1, and all we have to do is count rise over run. This rise over run thing, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, is going to be what we're talking about in a formalized formula. So up 1 over 4. So that is 1/4 x minus 1. We have a positive line because it's trending upward and our slope is positive. So we know when x is 0, that's going to put y at negative 1, or y-intercept, and we know that it's increasing by 1/4. So negative 1 point, or wait, sorry, increasing. Negative 0.75, negative 0.50, negative 0.25, and that'd be negative 1.25. So whenever it's really slanty, you might run into a fraction like that that does not work out okay. And that's why I'm going to start teaching you stuff on the TI-83, TI-84 calculator on how to type fractions in. All right, y-intercept is 2. I can go ahead and plot that, bliggity blam. And then 10 divided by 5 is 2, so I have a slope of 2 over 1. So that's 2x plus 2. But this was the curveball, negative. So we're going down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. The whole reason I threw that in there is to make sure that you're recognizing when when all 4 boxes have to coincide with each other. If this would have been positive, this line wouldn't be going this direction. If you did a positive line and you look at this and you're like, hold on, it's supposed to be negative. That's exactly what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to recognize that and ask that question to yourself. Hold on, that's supposed to be negative. Why is that positive? Okay. Then you go back and change it. So we know our y-intercept is 2, and we know that's going to be decreasing by 2. So 0, negative 2, negative 4. And this is the only reason we're able to do this shortcut is because this is increasing by 1. If it were not, then we'd have to see how it's increasing by 10 and 5. Well, now we have it narrowed down and simplified. So that's why we always double check by substituting. Okay, so this is where we use our table to come up with the equation. Plus 2 plus 2. So 2 over 2 is equal to 1. So that's x. We don't know where a y-intercept is, so that means we're going to have to substitute, let's say 5. Y equals 5. So it should, what do we have to add to get there? Nothing. Sweet. All right, so this is the actual equation. Y equals x. So 0, 0. Technically, there is no y-intercept, and it would be declared the origin, which makes this line proportional. And we will go over proportionality as it pertains to linear equations whenever we start getting into word problems. And that's a positive line because we had an increase. All right, so plus 9, plus 3. Oh, wait, sorry, that's minus 9. So negative 9 over 3 is negative 3x. We substitute any number in, so negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. How do you get to negative 1? Plus 2. Okay. That's it to write the equation. Just to check it, let's do negative 3 times 4 is negative 12, plus 2 is negative 10. Check. Got it. 2 points make a line. All right. So 4 to 5 plus 1. 1 to 2 plus 1. So we got 1x. Substitute anything in. Let's use 3. 1 times 3 is 3. How do you get to 6 plus 3? Let's check it. 4 plus 3 is 7. Done. 2 points make a line. This is just a refresher. I'm going to keep throwing these things in here. And I just want to make sure you can arrive to that answer. Each step is the thing that I'm looking for. Always start with the smallest variable. -3 smaller than +2. Do its opposite. Variables to one side. Now get the variable by itself. We see -6, so we do +6. Working backwards. So that's why we're doing the opposite of everything. We see times 5, 5 times x, so we're going to work backwards, figured out, okay, before we did that, what was it? 10 divided by 5 is 2. These are the steps that must be there. Always starting with our smallest variable, that's going to be 4x, so -4x minus 4x. That's going to leave you with a 2. Let's see, 3x minus 7. Now we isolate the variable, get that 3x by itself by doing the opposite to this -7 plus 7. So that gives you a 9 equals 3x. We know that a number next to a variable means multiply, so we're going to divide. 9 divided by 3 is 3. That is what it should look like. So now to get into the new thing. It looks like it's complicated, but you're already doing it. You just haven't been writing it mathematically. So this is technically called your x1 and this is your y1, only because it's the first set of coordinates. So that's why it's your x1 and that's why it's your y1. In the other set of coordinates, guess what? Yes, that's true. You have an x2, y2. I'm going to show you 2 variations of this just to show you that you can't mess it up unless you do something completely wonky. So I always label these 2 points, x1, y1, x2, y2. It just makes it so much easier to plug into an equation, a formula that is on your formula chart. So don't be intimidated by it because you've already been doing it. So you can see the x values are 1 and 3. I marked those as blue. You can see the y values are 2 and 4. All right, so we always know that it's the change in y over the change in x, the rise over the run. It's what we've been doing over and over and over and over. So I wanted to just show you that if you choose 1 and 3 as your x values, put those on the bottom, 1 minus 3, and you choose 2 and 4, and you do 2 minus 4, you'll end up getting -2 over -2, which is +1. Let's say you follow the formula exactly as it appears. Then you do y2, which is 4, okay? Then you do y1, which is 2. y2 minus y1, 4 minus 2 is 2. Then you do x2, which is right here, we have it labeled 3, minus x1, 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. You can see the answer comes out to be the same either way. Just make sure if you're starting with the first set of coordinates and subtracting the second set, that you start with the first set and end with the second set. And it might not even occur to you to do it any other way, so I'm not going to go into it any further. So here's an example of how we did rise over run. This is the way we've been doing it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So over 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we got a slope of -2. And the reason I have the visual there is because I wanted to show you what we've done, and then I want to show you what we're doing. If you're given 2 ordered pairs like this, that means you're not given this picture. Because obviously if you're given the picture, you could find the slope. But this is finding the slope without a picture and without a table. And you could always set up the table, an XY table, and do that method as well. But I want you to be accustomed to using the formula as well. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. The change in y over the change in x. So x1, y1, x2, y2. All right, so I'm going to sub those in. That's a -4 minus 4. See, I started with my y2 to y1. x2 is 2 minus -2. Okay. -8 over 4. That's the conclusion we need to arrive at. And of course, you simplify that down to negative 2 over 1 or just negative 2. And then we have y equals negative 2x. We can substitute 0 in and find the y-intercept. It's going to be 0. You can also check your reduced slope, just like we have before. It goes there, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. Now you know for a fact that you're right. These are 3 problems that I want you to do. You're going to pause the video. You're going to do exactly as I modeled on this one right here. Notice that I did the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 formula. I substituted those corresponding numbers in. I came up with an answer by simplifying what this was. And then I simplified my final answer. Then I even wrote it in here. This part you don't need to do. Everything else needs to be done. So there should be 4 sections at least, or I mean at least 3, because if you don't have to reduce, then it'll eliminate 1. Set it up, substitute it in, solve it. Set it up, substitute it in, solve it. Set it up, substitute it in, solve it. When you send me those, I will know that you've watched this entire video and you've made an attempt at least trying to do this. All right? And if these are completely messed up, then we will meet and we'll go over it all again. Give it a go.